Spirit Tarot, and I have a message for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and any other significant placements. This will be a general message, so whatever I see is what I'm going to read, but typically it's going to be about your relationship to something or someone in particular. All right, let's get started here. Benevolent ancestors, guardian angels, spirit guides, those that come to me in and through unconditional love only. What are the messages that you have for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and any other significant placements at this time? From the time they view this video moving forward, what are the most important messages to, for, from, about, and around Libra? From the time they view this video, most important messages for Libra. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm so happy to have you here. For those of you who are official sunflowers, welcome back. Welcome back. All right. Let's do a couple more. Libra, Sun, Rising, Venus. And significant placements. One more here. One more. All right. Let's get started. Bottom of the deck, we got the Four of Pentacles. Okay, Roman numerals. Okay, just give me a second. I know Roman numerals because a lot of tarot decks use Roman numerals, but sometimes you see one and you're like, wait, hold on. Starting the reading with the Ten of Swords. Okay, hold on. Having a little technical difficulties over here. Okay, starting the reading with the Ten of Swords. Then we have the Empress and the Knight of Wands. Then we have the Eight of Swords, the Three of Wands. We have the Three of Cups, the High Priestess, the Page of Swords, ending the reading with the Two of Swords, with the Nine of Swords as the overall energy here. Let me go ahead and clarify this before I get started for you guys. Nine of Swords, Queen of Swords, with the Devil and the Knight of Swords. King of Swords at the bottom of the deck. All of these swords, swords, swords. You know what that means? That there's a lot of mental activity or mental energy that's going into this reading right now. So you might be spending a lot of time in your head, right? Your thoughts might be overwhelming. You might have a lot of intrusive thoughts at this time. You might be having a lot of regrets, or you might be feeling like you can't think your way out of this situation that you're in. I do feel like you probably are someone, you're an air sign. You probably are someone who doesn't necessarily rely on their heart space all the time to make decisions. You're probably really at your core a generally logical person. And that's why when you have emotional issues, your brain just goes fucking haywire, because all of a sudden you have all of these thoughts and all of these feelings that you're trying to integrate or trying to create logic out of these emotions, and your feelings don't always make sense. That's what I want to be very clear about. Your feelings are not always going to make sense to you. They're not always going to be logical, and I feel like that's why you are stuck in this place. I do see you having been betrayed by somebody that you trusted, whether this was somebody that you were in a romantic relationship with or not. This is somebody who you feel like stabbed your ass in the back. We got the Ten of Swords just opening up the reading. So this is something that has already come to pass. This is something that has already happened in your life, and you are not currently talking to this person. I feel like you might have been married to this person or in a long-term commitment with this person, because we have both the King and Queen of Swords, and sometimes when they come out together and they're poorly aspected, which means there's a lot of negative cards around them, it means that this person or this couple is in separation or going through a divorce. Okay, you were in a relationship with somebody that you considered your equal. Okay, you were in a relationship with somebody that you felt like you could trust, somebody that you thought was always being honest and upfront with you, somebody you thought that you could rely on, somebody who you thought would always tell it to you straight, somebody who you thought had the same vision for the future as you do. But apparently they don't. And apparently they were willing to sacrifice trust with you and in turn a relationship with you to pursue whatever desires they had. It does look like this person may have put you in a third-party situation. It also looks like this may have been something that you were in denial about for a long time. This also might be something that you found out about through your friend group, your family, your social group. People might have already known and had already been talking about it. So that just enhances the betrayal, right? Because people are already knowing. People are already gossiping about this, and nobody's coming to you to talk to you about it. Maybe these people didn't feel like it was their place. Hey, fair enough. But for you to be sitting in the dark in an illusion, in some sort of delusion for the longest time, suspecting something, thinking that something was up, but trying to suppress that feeling, thinking that maybe you were either self-sabotaging or overthinking or overanalyzing. No, Spirit was showing you the signs and the signals that you needed so that you could pick up on whatever they were trying to put down or whatever they were trying to avoid you knowing. This person is deceptive, they're manipulative, and they have probably put you in a position of questioning your own thoughts, your own logic, many, many, many times. And it's only up until this point that you realize that this person was that manipulative or was that deceptive. Because if they could do this, if they could betray you in this way, what other lies have they told? What other secrets are they withholding? What other things aren't they telling you, right? Libra, I gotta say honestly, you are going to be in a position where you question everyone's loyalty. You don't know who you can trust. You don't know who around you already knew about this stuff, or who's talking about you, or who's talking shit about you behind your back because this happened to you. I do feel like there are people, once again, in your circle who did already know, but I will give them the benefit of the doubt and say that maybe they just didn't feel like it was their place to tell you. But that doesn't mean that you feel any less hurt. That doesn't make you feel any less skeptical that these people actually have your best interest at heart, especially if these people were people that you met through this King of Swords character, through this masculine, through this person who you thought you could trust, right? Because if I can't trust this masculine, then I can't trust anybody who's in connection to this masculine. I think that's kind of how you're feeling, and you're turning your back on that friendship group or that social group, especially in particular if you met them through this masculine. So let's start clarifying a little bit. I do see you coming out of this phase of overthinking and overanalyzing. How could I be so stupid? And how could I let this happen? And how could these people know? And how could, look, it's going to take you some time to process the fact that this doesn't make logical sense and that it never will. When people betray other people, it never makes sense to me. When people lie to you to your face, when people manipulate you, deceive you, it never makes sense to me. I don't understand why people do that. I don't understand why people operate like that. A lot of people would consider me naive, especially even at my big age of 33, because I don't always think that people are lying to me. Because I don't lie, right? I don't lie to people in that way. I don't manipulate people like that. I don't deceive people in that way. So for me, it never really occurs to me that somebody is doing that until it's right in front of my face and I can't ignore it. And that's what I feel like happened to you. It's like you just trusted this person so much you never thought that they would be capable of the kind of deception or the level of deception. I'm not really sure, but I just know, like I said, you're turning your back on a lot of stuff and you refuse to go back to a place of ignorance. You will come out of this stage of overthinking, overanalyzing, and trying to figure out, because some things just don't make sense. And I think you're wasting your beautiful mental energy and your wonderful time trying to figure out how this happened. It happens. Everybody goes through this. Everybody's been betrayed. Everybody, and maybe you thought yourself above that kind of thing. Maybe you thought that you were above getting played by a masculine. Maybe you thought you were above, these sort of things happening to you, or somebody cheating on you, or somebody lying to you to your face. Maybe you always thought that you would always know if something like this was going on behind your back, and you would just cut it off as soon as you could. And that's not what's happening. And that's not how it's played out. Maybe you had a preconceived notion of how you would handle these things, and nothing has gone to that plan. Nothing has lived up to that idea of what you thought might happen. And that might be what's really confusing for you, is that maybe you're having a different response or a different reaction than you thought you would. Or maybe people are behaving differently than you thought they would, right? And like I said, maybe you thought this, something like this could never happen to you. And if it did, you would know instantly and immediately, and you would cut it off, but that's not what happened. And now you're suffering, you're struggling. And I think what would be helpful for you is to get back into your heart space. Remember how this makes you feel emotionally, because that's really the only way you're going to make sense of this, because it's not going to be through logic. It's all going to be through your heart space, okay? You staying in your head trying to figure out the why and the when and the how, that's going to consume you. But you will step out of this. I think you will step out of this overthinking mental prison that you're in, and you will move forward, okay? You will learn to love again. You will learn to enjoy life again. You will learn to trust again, but it is going to take some time. Let's clarify the Eight of Swords for Libra here, please. We have the Chariot, and we have the Seven of Pentacles. Once again, this idea, or not once again, but I just did another reading that had a similar theme, but this idea of having invested so much time and effort and energy into something that they couldn't possibly do you wrong. They couldn't possibly do you dirty. You believed in this person. You trusted this person. You had this person's back. You were ride or die for this person, for lack of a better term. When I see the chariot here, I see somebody who's moving forward based on their will, on their drive, on their desire. And you were willing and ready to almost take a back seat to whatever this person's dreams and goals were. This reminds me of Angela Bassett in Waiting to Exhale. Now, I understand that movie is like 30-something years old, so many of you probably haven't seen it, but I'm just going to explain to you. This woman was married to a man for decades, I think, had children with him, helped him build his business from nothing. She met him when he had nothing, when he had no money, when he had no power, no status, and he built himself and his business up, and she was right there by his side at his business, working her ass off too, to help him build his business. And now he finally got to a point where he's successful, he has all these things, and he ends up leaving her for a white woman. Now, the race is not really important for this example. I just wanted to reiterate that because that's kind of the tone that is set in the movie. But what's important to note is, like, you think that you are really somebody's best friend, soulmate, ride or die. I'll be with you till the end. I'll help you through anything. I'll help you, build your life up however you want. And as soon as they get to that place where they feel successful, or they feel like they have the freedom to actually choose what they want, they don't choose you. I can't imagine how hurtful that is. I've been through some things like that, but I've attempted to help somebody build, right? But we never get to the point of success, right? I feel like you got to the point of success with this person, and you were willing to defer all of your dreams and put aside all of your goals so that you could totally focus on helping this person make it, because you felt like their will was strong enough, and you are comfortable being the more submissive person in the relationship. And I feel like you thought that would buy you loyalty. You thought that would buy you honesty. You thought that would buy you some sort of integrity, right, when it came to this person. And really, they have always done whatever they wanted to do, and they will continue doing whatever it is that they want to do without any regard to anybody else. This person comes across as very selfish, very self-centered, and the only reason that you were an appropriate partner for this person is because you were willing to put yourself on hold. You were willing to put yourself on the back burner. You were willing to scoot your desires to the side so that this person could have all of theirs met. And I would suggest that in the future you don't do that. You tune and tap back into who you are and what it is that you want, and learn how to dream for you again. Once again, it's going to take some time. All things do. But this is temporary, and this too shall pass. I promise you that. Let's clarify the Three of Wands. We have the Six of Wands, absolutely. An energy of victory, of overcoming something and moving on from a difficult phase or stage. And we also have the Nine of Cups with the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. I just want you to know, Libra, it is going to get better. You are going to find your confidence again. You are going to find your sense of self again. You are going to recognize that you were the lifeblood of this relationship, that it was your love, your nurturing, your care, your time, your effort, your energy that was keeping this relationship together. That you were the glue. And if you can be the glue for this relationship, then you can definitely be the glue to a relationship with somebody who's willing to reciprocate the energy that you bring. Okay? I feel like you will overcome this. Once again, you will regain your sense of self. You will rebuild your self-esteem. This person's behavior, this betrayal, is not a reflection of you. I don't think you've done anything wrong. Now, it takes two to tango. Nobody's blameless in a relationship, and nobody is totally 100% innocent. I don't believe that. But what I am saying is this person's betrayal was their choice. That's their behavior. That was them, 100%. It is not a reflection of who you are. It's not a reflection of how beautiful you are, how intelligent you are, how handsome you are, how attractive you are, how much you have going for you, how creative you are. It's not a reflection of that. This is not a reflection of you, period. Okay? So don't internalize somebody else's behavior and somebody else's misdeeds and somebody else's lies and deception and manipulation as like there's something wrong with you. Or as if you deserved it in some way. You didn't. You didn't deserve for this person to treat you this way. You didn't deserve for this person to betray you like this. You didn't deserve for your trust to be broken like this. You didn't deserve to be hurt like this. You don't deserve this. Okay? So don't ever internalize it as if this is your fault or you did something to deserve it, because you didn't. Okay? Don't look back on your relationship like that. Don't look back and say, well, if I could have done this differently. There's nothing you could have done differently. This person has always done exactly what they wanted to do. They've always been selfish. The difference between now and then is that you see it now. Because now they've been selfish with you in a way that you can't forgive. Even though they've been selfish with everybody around them their entire lives. And everybody just lets them get away with it because that's just how they are, right? That's just how that masculine is. You don't have to let them slide. You don't have to allow them back into your life. You don't have to save space for them later. You don't have to hope that they realize what they did wrong and came back. I don't think that's going to happen. I think this person is chalking it up to the game, saying that's just how it goes. I wanted to do that, so I did it. And now you can choose where you want to be. And I hope where you want to be is in your own energy, feeling confident and fulfilled on your own. You have so many things going for you. There's new opportunities coming your way after heartbreak, 3 swords. There's new opportunities coming your way. And maybe you can find a way to channel this pain into passion, into creativity, into art, into literature. Whatever it is that you feel passionately about, I see you being a very creative person. Use this pain to fuel you. And use and do like a damn Taylor Swift song and name their ass, okay? Well, I don't know if she name drops or not, but I don't listen to her music. I just know she writes about her relationships. But I'm just saying, get it out in your art, get it out in your creativity. Find a way to unleash this pain so you aren't in your brain and locked up here all the time. Creativity will be the way that you escape. All right, Libra, this is what I have for you guys. I hope that this was helpful or enlightening in some way. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll be with you next time.